The history of Beaulieu Vineyard is the history of America. Beaulieu was founded during the turn of the century by a bourgeois French entrepreneur named Georges de Latour, whose drive and business savvy took him from cream of tartar magnate to something even bigger, opening a winery in Napa Valley that would become a worldwide icon. With the nation's wealth doubling, the birth of the automobile, and women given the right to vote, a racy new culture materialized in the 20s. But while flappers were dancing to experimental jazz, a different kind of social tension emerged around alcohol. Prohibition was enacted. Wineries shuttered. But not Beaulieu Vineyard. De Latour's entrepreneurial drive struck gold, producing sacramental wine for profit, leading to expansion plans at the winery, and the hiring in 1938 of a dynamic new winemaker and former student of Louis Pasteur, André Telescheff. The partnership between Telescheff and de Latour was pivotal to modern California winemaking, and it established Rutherford as the Napa Valley epicenter for great wine. Telescheff made radical changes: new cultivation methods, winery sanitation practices, and temperature-controlled fermentation. These changes culminated with the release of Beaulieu's inaugural vintage of Georges de Latour Private Reserve Cabernet Sauvignon. GDL was the first California wine to be accepted throughout the world as a Grand Cru level bottling, gaining international recognition at the San Francisco World's Fair in 1939. Lines began forming around the block for vintage release, and GDL became the first cult Cabernet of Napa. Georges de Latour passed away in 1940, but in a true sign of reinvention ahead of the times, his wife took over, and for almost the next 3 decades, Beaulieu Vineyard was run by women. The baby boom of the 50s brought the space race, televisions, and the emergence of rock and roll, while the 60s saw a female movement from housewife to feminist against the backdrop of Woodstock and the Summer of Love. Beaulieu Vineyard continued to cement its international reputation. Celebrities like Ronald and Nancy Reagan served Georges de Latour for their 30th wedding anniversary. Perhaps most famous for hits like In the Mood, Glenn Miller's trumpeter Lee Knowles joined Beaulieu as sales manager in the 60s. And in the 70s, while Studio 54 was lighting up New York, President Nixon was pouring Georges de Latour at his White House dinners. Through generations, the legacy of our founder lives on. Beaulieu continues to wow the world and to break the boundaries of traditional winemaking, all in the pursuit of mastery. In this spirit, we make Beaulieu Vineyard for wine lovers who find the joy in wine, who are curious, who take their time appreciating the subtler notes, and who are excited to experience our vineyard and our history.